Hello, I'm Jenefer, I'm the founder of Silk Helix, and in this video I am going to talk through the 5 most common contract mistakes that we see and how to avoid them. Let's go. Number 1, not having the contract in writing. So many employers think that if they haven't got their employment contract in writing, that it doesn't exist, or it's more flexible, or they're not tied to it. The reality is it's the complete opposite. It's much harder to deal with a contract that's not in writing. It's not going to protect your business. Things like flexibility clauses, deductions from wages clauses have to be explicitly written down, or they simply don't exist. There is always a contract in place, whether you've got it in writing or not. The fact that somebody comes to work, provides their service and you pay them means there's going to be a contract there. What that contract looks like is going to be based on the understanding of both parties and what happens on a regular basis. Not having it in writing just does not help you. Strongly recommend always put your contract in writing and then follow the other tips I'm going to talk about in the next 4 because you don't want to fall foul of those either. So number 2, this is not reading your contract. So this is where you get somebody like me, a HR consultant or a HR company to provide you with employment contracts. And then you don't read them through. You just go, oh, well, an expert provided them, so that must be good, that must be great, I'll just start using them. And I get it. When you're busy and you want to offload it, you want to get somebody to do it for you, great. And we can do that. We can write your employment contracts, we can write your employee handbook. We're experts in the law. We know the common mistakes that people make. We know how to protect your business. What we're not experts in is the one thing that you are, and that is your business. The more I know about your business, the better. The more you tell me, the more you talk through, let me know about it, introduce me, tell me about your culture, your values, what you expect of people. All of these things are really great. But this agreement, this contract that we've prepared for you is an agreement between your business and your staff, the individual. It's not just a generic employment law thing. This is an agreement between your business and your individual staff member. It has to be right for the circumstances. It has to be right for your business. Only you really know that. So if you're reading something and thinking, I can't really comply with that, then go back to your consultant, talk to them and get it right. Get it right for your business. Absolutely read through whatever you're given and whatever you're going to issue out, because this is yours, and that's really important. Yes, experts in employment law, yes, we can guide you, we can advise you, but we need to understand and know your business to be able to do that. Number 3 then is along those lines, and this is where instead of going to an expert HR consultant, you just download something, you use a template from somewhere, it says it's legally compliant and you go with it. The problem with this is that there isn't actually a legal requirement to issue an employment contract. There is a legal requirement to issue a statement of particulars of employment, which is a slightly different thing, can be included within an employment contract. But the point of this is the legal requirement to issue individuals with information that they need about the job they're signing up to. It does not go so far as to protect your business. It does not include things like deductions from wages, even for holiday that has been taken but not accrued when somebody leaves, or overpayments of wages. It does not include things like flexibility clauses, the right to potentially change shift patterns or change locations of work. A legally compliant contract is not going to protect your business. It's not going to cover all of the things that you need. It's only going to provide the individual with the information that they're entitled to as a statement of particulars under the Employment Rights Act. Number 4, using the contract from your last employer. This is a really common one. Someone starts a business, they've got an employment contract that their previous employer issued to them, so they decide to use that. It gives them something, gives them a basis. Better than nothing, I'll grant you, but that's about their business. It's about what they were doing. It's about what the law said at the time they were doing it. The law in relation to statements of particulars has changed considerably since April 2020. So anything you've got pre that is going to be legally out of date. But not only that, it will not be right for your business, particularly if you've come from a large corporate. The worst case I ever saw was somebody who was in the police force and used police force documents for a small private sector employer and had all sorts of things about criminal law that just don't apply to small employers, tied themselves up in all sorts of knots. Get something that's right for your business now, the business that you're in, the business that you're running, not what your employer was using when they employed you previously. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below and I will do my best to answer every single one. And finally, number 5, having a contract that is too threatening. Now, I've said about protecting your business, and I often say this when I'm talking about employment contracts, I talk about how you protect the business. But if you go too far and everything in the contract feels like a threat, or is like, well, we could use a disciplinary procedure for this, we'll deduct wages for that, we can dismiss you for this, it's not setting the right tone. So an employment contract is usually the first document that somebody gets that really sets the tone for how this relationship's going to be. In the current climate, people have choice about where they're going to work, and even if we go through short periods where people don't get so much choice, they will have choice when they come out of that. If your contract is too threatening, it's not making it appealing for somebody to want to work for you. It's not feeling like this is going to be a relationship where they're going to be treated like an individual, like an adult, where they're going to be trusted to do their job. Contract that's overly threatening doesn't protect your business. It goes too far the other way, and it starts to make you look like somebody who's just going to lay down the law, be very dictatorial, very dominant, and that's not the type of employer that many people want to go and work for. So do avoid that. Avoid going into protection mode so much that you're only thinking one-sided. This is an agreement between two people, and an individual has the choice about whether or not they sign up to your terms and conditions. Don't forget, you've legally got to issue this by the end of day 1 of employment, and we recommend that you issue it before that to really set the tone for the employment, set the culture, let people know what it's going to be like to work for you and what they should be expecting. So that's 5 of the most common mistakes that we come across when it comes to writing employment contracts. If you want to avoid these mistakes and work with us to write your employment contracts for you, I've put a link in the description below. Do get in touch, book a call, and we can talk through exactly how we can do that for you. In the meantime, if you want to keep up to date with my videos, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one.